2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Group D. I don't know if it spells death just yet, but for one of our two players, they will die. MMA and Solar face off, and it would be very surprising to see Solar go out.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be sad either way, to be honest. It's going to be really sad to see MMA go, and it's going to be really sad to see Solar go, so it's going to be an emotional one either way.
And a lot of people might be counting MMA out right now, but nobody's said Omaiwa Moshindaru just yet. There's still a chance that he could make this upset happen, but he has to do it here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, or else he's eliminated, so we'll have to see if he can do it. I think MMA, his best chance is probably Solar. I think it would be really hard to play against Zero, especially after watching him play against GuMiho, as a player who's coming back from retirement. But like Solar, more standard DVT player, so we'll have to see if he's able to pick up on that and play really well, because he did in the first series.
When are you going to come back from retirement, no regret?
Never. I'm retired now. This is the retirement life.
Well, it's good to have you here, living the retirement life together. I guess I retired a long time ago, but MMA versus Solar, the map pool is actually pretty standard. I mean, Dreamcatcher, I think the only thing it's missing to be totally standard would be like Lost and Found, maybe. But for Dreamcatcher as our first map, I know most Terran players really like this against Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, MMA picked it first, so we'll have to see if he's able to use the ledges to their full extent.
Let's get into game number 1 and find out MMA versus Solar.
Match 1, fight.
In the blue in the bottom right, he is
MMA.
Lots of fans out there.
And so much support. His opponent, another fixture, the GSL for a long time, he is
Splice Solar.
Lots of fans as well.
Yeah, no, I love it. Our fans are coming out in force. If you guys ever get the chance to come down here to the studio, you're always welcome. It is quite the experience. So let's get into this. It's a TVZ. Glad we have at least one Zerg this time around. MMA. Lots of fans out there for that guy. I saw 2 or 3 other signs being made as I was walking into the studio. But yeah, TVZ, I'm glad we have a Zerg in here so we can get some expert analysis.
I mean, this is where I'll exceed for sure. I think one of the biggest points right now, right off the bat, is the fact that MMA hasn't gone for a proxy Rax. That's probably one of the biggest things that happens immediately. In ZVT in general. 0-0 and Legacy of the Void, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, MMA just kind of hasn't played in a while.
1-4 though, even when MMA did play, I guess not the greatest results.
Well, the thing for Solar is that he really saw his power spike at the launch of Legacy of the Void, right? Another go. What a way to cheer. Like, wow, that president is really a big fan of MMA. Also probably a person sitting next to it, but
wonder if that present's for MMA.
Whoa. This is the true thing you're going to be missing out on, no regret.
What, it's player gifts?
Yeah, player gifts, man. Every once in a while, I'll just go out there, and they're just surrounded. Oh, that's that sick siege tank. It's like made out of sheet metal and stuff.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That is absolutely so sick. I think there's also a battle cruiser. I think I saw a post on Reddit of people making those. So the fan made him that sick siege tank. That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, very cool. I wish I got one of them.
Well, you don't play Terran, so you wouldn't have gotten a siege tank.
Still nice. I would like someone to make a metal Zergling. Thank you.
That would actually be very complicated because of the little dangly arms and stuff.
It would be very hard.
You have to model each one of their little Zergling fingers. That'd be a little bit creepy.
It would be very hard, yeah.
Okay, so third base coming down, you were saying, hey, there's no proxies, which you can always worry about every game, but this looks pretty standard. I mean, I'm guessing MMA is just going to go for his trademark early drop.
I mean, so far it's very standard. It's too early to say if this is Tech Lab, then it'll be for Banshees. Should be any second now, probably. If not, then maybe drop. Could be Hellion drop. I think it would be most likely. Based off the fact that there's no Tech Lab, that would make the most sense to me.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, third base is already coming up here for Solar. I don't think he's altered his build in any way just specifically for MMA.
No, he's just playing a completely standard game. We see an Overlord speed here, so that's probably going to be for a nice scout. He should scout the fact that there's no Tech Lab and immediately pick up on this Hellion drop. Hopefully.
You say hopefully.
I'm saying hopefully.
No Zerg bias or anything, but...
I mean, like, hopefully he can scout it.
Ah, okay. Nice
For
to
him,
see
I
some
guess.
impartiality.
I guess there's a
Scouting
little bit of bias. I
Zergling
don't know.
will see everything he needs to. So sees the Hellions come out on the map, knows they've been most likely reactored, and should be able to get an Overlord scout in to see everything else.
I mean, one of the biggest things is actually is this Widowmine drop? Now that would be really strange.
Now
by
that's
the way.
the meta game.
This is like the most abnormal drop I've ever seen. Is he gonna scout that it's Widowmine drop?
Yeah, they're gonna pop out right as that Overseer. I mean, or right as the Overlord.
If he got scouted, it's gonna do absolutely nothing. I mean, scouts the fact that this is gonna be really.
He even
really,
sees it running towards the medevac. Wow, I wonder what this could be. Okay, sees everything. MVP Overlord and getting Overlord speed very important for that.
He wants to wait for the next round of mines, I think, but he's kind of pushed to do it now because Solar scouts it.
Well, he sees that the Hellions at the front also haven't moved out, so he knows that this isn't going to be any sort of weird,
It's a really fast
crazy push.
reaction.
But is that how you would react?
I mean, like, I think this is like, well, if I don't do anything, I need something going my way. And the economy, I guess, can go your way if you go for a quick third CC. But this really, he's very wide open, I think, a little bit.
There's
here.
a big risk. Okay, Overlord speed, is it going to get it out of range in time? Yeah.
This feels bad. We see a pretty quick tech lap. I'm wondering if this is so he can get a tank out as soon as possible to not die.
He could still get it with the next 2 Widow Mines.
See, these are just going to join up so he can drop it. Like I said, he wanted to wait for all 4, but he felt like he had to go for it immediately because of the Overlord.
I mean, isn't there a risk that because Solar scouted this, it gets totally shut down?
Yeah, of course. 100%. It's going to get totally shut down.
Well, what I'm trying to say is on the other side, you've just expanded, so now your aggression gets shut down, and now you're vulnerable to a counterattack.
Oh, no. That's a very risky spot to be in, by the way.
History repeating itself.
Okay.
So Carpet
the mine's
bombs
at least
the mines on out.
Burrowed.
Does get
drones.
a nice shot out on the drones. 4 going down.
Saves 1? No, it doesn't.
Nah, unable to save that. If he loses the medevac, that'd be terrible, but 22 HP, more than
Honestly,
enough.
though, 4 drones and the fact that he has a 4th base or a 3rd base on the way is kind of okay for MMA.
I mean, 4 drones for 4 Widow Mines.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is not the actual like trade of resources there. The biggest thing is that Solar had to prepare for this. And if you look at the economy tab, 45 to 49, that's not a huge difference, especially with mules. It's in favor of MMA.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The biggest thing here is not the drones kill, but the reaction that he had to take to not lose drones.
And with 2 factories on the way going to be transferred over there to those add-ons, this is going to be mech coming out of MMA. I guess it's a TBT, it's been bio.
I think the biggest question is MMA going to survive any Roach push that's coming? Because he has Roach speed on the way. He's building a lot of drones that's really good for MMA. The scariest thing by far would have been huge Roach timing off of like the lower count 3rd base.
Right, I mean, what do you have to deal with that? Hellions and Reaper, not going to cut it.
Widowmine? Yeah, there's nothing here. All right, Hellion, good luck. We'll see you at the end of the game, my dude.
A little Hellion that could. Fire does not beat Rock, so that is going to take a while. I'm glad MMA is still out on the map, though. He's not completely turtled back to try to, secure that 3rd base. He is still clearing creep.
Scouts this mech. I'm wondering if Solar goes for like the max Roach push or something like that. Obviously, he's not going to go with 113 supply. The question is he going to go for like, if he's going to go for a timing or if he's just going to play it out. And by the looks of 3 Overlords on the way, I would say this is going to be a Roach timing.
Right. I mean, there's double Thors on the way, so those are obviously going to be pretty helpful. But you're right. This could be absolutely very, very scary if Solar does decide to go for that timing attack.
Does he have 2 medevacs yet? If he doesn't have 2 medevacs, it's interesting that he's building Thors.
I mean, they could always be defensive Thors just to defend against that eventuality, right?
Yeah, but Thors defensively without medevacs are so bad. They get biled and they're just always in the back not doing anything.
But what if they
medevacs
move to avoid the bile?
I mean, the Thors are pretty slow.
Yeah. I mean, more Hellions, okay, maybe this much fire does beat a Rock.
Okay, see, he do has the medevacs. That makes sense.
Yeah. And here it comes.
Yeah. These Thors can actually do a lot to buy time, so we'll have to see if he's able to do that. He should buy time with this. He can actually stop the rally too. If he goes for a counter now, that's very greedy. But it can do so much.
It really is. I mean, it's all going to be about whether or not that does enough damage or if he would have needed those Thors across the map to defend.
He might not be able to survive without them. So he might just lose if he does what he's doing. Though the counterattack could do a lot here. He saves all the SCVs, now that would be huge.
I think he is going to. They are running very, very far away.
Okay, here's some Thors. And there's a lot of links here, though.
Yeah, I mean, Thors do have that extra armor that was added on a while back.
He needs to chase down these SCVs. Yeah, they're...
I think those are not getting chased down, no regret.
No, they're not, but he should. I think as long as the SCVs don't die, MMA is in a fine position, especially look 67 to 64 workers. Army supply in favor of Solar, but when the game goes on longer and longer, it's better for MMA. Economically, and the army is going to be more efficient.
Miscontrol there by MMA, loses a Thor, so that feels pretty bad. But I think the bigger
thing is his third
save
is
is
not
that
mining.
he does still have those SCVs, so maybe it's not mining right now, but he should be able to regain control of that pretty soon, right?
I mean, as long as he can break out, which I think he should be able to do.
I mean, that's a lot of tanks actually have to not siege, so they avoid the corrosive vials, and he still has more to siege to defend the high
There was
ground.
no reason for those tanks to not be sieged, though.
Yeah.
So if you go up that ramp with what he had, he would have lost a lot more if those were tanks sieged, rather than the amount that he would have lost if they were sieged and they lost to bile or whatever. So they should have been sieged. He still has them unsieged, by the way. Maybe he doesn't think so. There's only enough to kill 2 tanks possible. And now they're both dead.
One of them actually mispositioned there on the
Do you
bile.
think he can just... Oh my god, can he do it with just Hellions here?
I think he can. Those are blue flames, so they actually do deal a lot of damage. Certainly taking out the Ravagers is possible. He even has the SCVs to flank with the Thor if you want.
Don't lose the Thor, though.
Yeah, that beautiful pickup there. The hottest to pick up some Vikings there.
And all the SCVs can come back now. I wonder if Solar thought he killed them, because I'm surprised he doesn't even try to kill them.
I mean, especially sniping that Ravager. There's how many other Ravagers are there? There's Lings coming across the map, but I think he might only have one, so that would be actually fantastic.
Okay, this is huge. Oh, he's blocking his own depots from being raised.
Oh, there's one MVP Blue Flame Hellion right there that kills most of those Zerglings, and should be able to hunt down the rest pretty easily.
Yeah, honestly, this is not going too badly.
No, this looks fantastic for MMA. He had that one Thor that he saved that really helped him clean up there at the end, but what
for a second I thought those were Broodlords. So
that?
Like, okay.
Oh yeah, I was like, okay, Broodlord tech, that is very surprising, but that is just quite a few.
Yeah, Hive is only on the way now, so...
Overseers,
You could look at the army upgrades. The upgrades are so important against mech. And I'm pretty sure he's behind in upgrades right now, so...
yeah, I believe he
plus 3
is
on the
plus
way.
3 weapons.
Yeah, plus 3 for tanks. This is a good way of coming back if you're ever behind against mech. Because it really makes him unsiege and leave his third base and stuff like that. You can do some double-pronged stuff that just wins a lot of the time. And there's the wide open main right now. This could be really, really bad for MMA.
I think his drop is really going to catch him off guard as well. So I think I said those are overseers, or obviously not. But they are going to be dropping into a very vulnerable and unprotected, unscouted main.
Yeah, it's very vulnerable. And if you force MMA to unsiege to go back into his main, you can definitely do some damage to the third too. He's running into a lot of the Roach Hydra here. He's not really paying attention to his
This
main
is the
base.
best case situation for Solar. He takes out one group of Hellions, he's got Spines defending against the second one, and he's got an uncontested drop in the main.
Yeah, the biggest thing is how is MMA going to react here?
Well, he's got to defend his production. He's got a lot of Vikings.
How many Hydras are here? Is there only 5? 4?
Yeah, there's only 5, and Blue Flame Hellions are pretty good at dealing with them, so even these Vikings are going to be pretty good. But it's about the push at the front.
And
a long line of siege tanks.
This is the most important thing, right?
If MVP, or if MMA, I'm confusing the great Terrans in the world. If MMA can hold on there, then I think this is just...
This is in such a good position for... If he can get plus 3, that would be huge, by the way. That should be like something... He doesn't know it's plus 3, obviously, or else he probably would have gone for it. But it's such a huge upgrade to lose.
Well, the drop overlord's been totally pushed out, so everything in the main will be cleaned up right
only
now.
Only 11 going down. SCVs are something you could totally lose at this point in the game.
I think he actually might have had maybe almost too many SCVs. He's only on 3 bases, so...
He still had 70 workers, so he was at 80. Not quite TY level, but getting there.
Yeah, TY might,
100, 110?
Yeah, something up there. He is a big fan of those SCVs.
Is that the 4? The 4 CCs are already flying. This is such a great spot for MMA. The question is he going to pick up on the fact that this is Vipers? Is he going to pick up on the fact that they're probably going into Broodlords? As long as he's accounting for the future tech, he should be in an amazing position.
I honestly thought there would be more Hydras in that drop.
Is that Banshee speed upgrade?
No, it's the Smart Servos. Smart Servos.
Okay.
Smart Servos. Say that 5 times fast. Either way,
what's that for? He doesn't even have any...
the creep tumors. I think he has some Hellions, right?
I mean...
it's for the Thors so that they can transform between AoE and single target mode.
I guess he's going to start making more Liberators. That would make... Yeah, okay, he has some Liberators already.
Yeah. Wow, those drop overlords actually survived.
He built 2 sensor towers on top of each other?
Wow.
He did. Even the observer's like, what?
He's been watching too much Sense8. He's like, how many senses do I need? Well, the answer is more than one. So he can both taste and smell. But can he see? Like, kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We'll see if this push does a good enough job as a counter, because it just seems so strong. How is Solar going to hang on here? He's trying for a big arc.
The most
to come around
important thing
side.
is the Vipers here.
Right.
I don't know where they are right now, and...
guessing they're...
okay, there they are.
Yeah, there they are.
Oh,
but
no.
all the Vikings, if they can snipe these, they do pick one off.
He loses one. This is definitely not where you want to be investing your energy into killing right now. These 2 Liberators is nothing compared to this massive mech army here. Oh, he's actually putting tanks on the other side. I think this is really unbreakable, honestly.
Just leapfrogging the tanks and Thors to the other side. How does Solar handle this?
Even with Vipers, look at how spread out all this army is. It's in a really good spot. He's getting +1 Spire upgrades.
2 Vipers here, but they're going to get picked off again.
XP. Oh,
they abducted them closer. No! That's not where you want the Vikings, my man.
Yeah, trading the Vikings for the Vipers is perfectly fine.
A little bit of a counterattack coming through here. Upgrades just now started, so...
+3 armor here. Yeah. It's not a big deal to lose these upgrades on. Before, it was more important.
Yeah, you actually get them denied as soon as they started. It's a cool little counterattack. You actually pick off those 2 tanks before they siege on the low ground, but I think he's actually just going to go into that natural.
He's actually doing a lot of damage here, too, this main army. 12 workers down. But still, there's a 4th base here. This is perfectly fine for MMA. Here comes the main engagement. He could take down the rocks. Oh my god.
He will, just at the last second. Beautiful timing there by Solar. But the natural's in shambles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, though. I think it's okay to lose your natural in this position. Obviously not what he wants, don't get me wrong, but when you have a huge army like this, we can do counter damage at the 4th or 5th base here.
Things getting a little bit crazy. MMA dropping some Vikings and looking to segment these bases apart from each other on Solar's side of the map. Muta's coming out. There's not a whole lot of anti-air here, just a few Vikings left over.
The biggest question is there any Thors?
There's one, I believe. Maybe it died earlier.
Oh, no. There's no Thors?
Oh, my God. The tech switch of doom. And all of a sudden, MMA has to pick up everything and head home.
I think this is probably the only way MMA could have lost, I think. If he had 2 or 3 Thors there, I don't see how he could ever break that, especially with Mutas.
He never remade Thors after the first 2. He lost 1, was on 1 Thor for a while, and even that died, so...
Oh, man, what a heartbreaking way to lose the TVZ,
what a travesty. He even had enough Vikings to kill off all of the Vipers, and I thought that was just going to be game over.
Oh, man.
The abduct on an SCV, I think it's just a misclick.
Yeah, look at, he's trading for all these tanks, and now the Roach Hydra can go almost uncontested. He's getting a lot of the Vikings.
Yeah, as well as everything else on the ground.
Oh, man, the tank's still going down to the Mutas.
The one tech switch he didn't account for. Wow. GG Solar takes down MMA in game number 1. What a swap at the end to do it.
Yeah, amazing play from both players. It's really unfortunate to see MMA not accounting for the Spire attack. But Solar abusing that and doing a really good job. He was on the ropes. I think almost any other Zerg player potentially could have died to that position. The counterattack buying him enough time for his Spire to finish and get Mutas up. I don't think if he doesn't counterattack there, MMA focuses on the push and Solar just dies.
And you can see that MMA is GSL round of 32 quality, which is impressive because he's coming back. But even though his fundamentals are solid and he can get himself into good positions, Solar just, I mean, that's where the pedigree kicks in. This is just one of the best players in the world right now, and you can see it with attacks and tech switches like that.
Yeah, hopefully MMA can account for any mistakes that he made the first game and come back. I would love to see at least a 1-1
He was able to do it against GuMiho, but he's going to have to do it here. Otherwise, he will be eliminated from Season 3 of the GSL. And I mean, it's impressive to see him get this far, but I would love to see him pull off and come back.
Yeah, Catalyst, much better map for Zerg players in general, so this will be a little bit of an uphill battle for him, but he can do it, I think. I believe in him. We'll have to see.
Last game coming up, potentially, unless MMA can turn it around and see if he can to get into game 2.
Match 2, fight!
Welcome onto Catalyst for game number 2. In the upper left-hand corner, it's
MMA.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, playing Zerg in the red. This is
Splice, Solar.
All right, game 2, no regret.
Yep, game 2. Again, no proxy access.
I'm surprised he didn't pull that out at least
I kind of
once.
wish he would have, but I think you don't do it when you're on the ropes like this. This is a way to just lose. If you look at the way Solar's scouting too, like you potentially could have scouted it on the left side. I think if you're up game 1, it would be a amazing decision for MMA to go 2 racks, especially on Catalyst. At least just burn this map with a potential strategy to just win the game and be up 2-0. But it's not the same advantages for doing it when you're down 1-0.
That's right, back up against the ropes. He can't go for anything risky because I think realistically, it's just...
Is that a Dorito?
Oh my god. Where's special when you need to cheer him on with those?
I mean, I'm guaranteed chat is just full of Doritos.
People
right
were
now.
also using that to cheer on Rainer, saying Ricardito, but I don't know.
It's not, doesn't work as well.
No, it definitely does not. That was a major failure there. But you guys can Dorito along with him in chat. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what to expect from this game because MMA, he needs to try something different. Even
like
his solid play is just not working.
After watching that first game, I feel if you're MMA, you feel pretty confident, pretty comfortable with your standard play. You just need to change a little bit. You have to be better at scouting what's coming and, you know, be more aware of what's going on the map. And I think that's something that MMA can certainly do. So we'll have to see if he's able to do it.
So you're saying the biggest difference between an MMA that loses that last series and wins this one is just getting more information out on the map?
more information. Because I think about it, if he had more information, he would have been more prepared for the counterattack, A. He would have been more prepared for the tech switch, B. And those are the only two things that really amounted to MMA just losing the game.
Yep, third hatch just now coming down for Solar, so he doesn't see anything that tells him to change his build. They're just going to play it the opening.
Yeah, both players playing
Exactly
insanely standard. I'm actually, it's really impressive to see MMA come back and play such a standard style so well, because that's usually what takes a long time to get refined mechanics like this. If he goes again for the Hellion drop, I'll be a little bit surprised. It looks like he wants to. We don't see a Tech Lab on the racks yet. I kind of wish he'd go for a Tech Lab and go for a Banshee. Because I don't think it does more damage or less damage than a Hellion drop, so it's just a different style that does a similar thing.
Right, and for MMA, I mean, he has to know that Solar is not just going to randomly die to the Hellion drops that he's doing. Oh, actually,
that's a really nice creep tumor.
Snipe on that creep tumor. Not going to be coming back for a while. But I think MMA only got 2 SCVs, 2 or 3 with his last Hellion drop, so trying out a different version, I'd agree with that too. But instead, it's just Reactor Cyclones.
Interesting.
I mean, denying
scouting throw down an armory now, maybe?
Is still good, but yeah, I think that the armory follow-up would be at least something that we've seen before, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make much sense right now. With is he going to get a scout off on that? I mean, he has Overlord speed, so he will eventually get a scout. The question is there going to be an armory, or is it just going to be like this weird Hellion Cyclone? The medevac would suggest me to believe that it's either Cyclone drop, which is not standard at all by any means. He actually, I don't know if he saw that. I don't think he did.
The medevac?
Yeah, would have been close.
It would have been, yeah, very close. Even if he did see that.
Oh, it's a CC. Okay.
Seeing the double Cyclones, he knows it's not double Hellions, so the chance of it being an armory follow-up is, you know, a lot less likely. But he still has to deal with these double Cyclones coming across the map, and if those get wedged in your mineral line, it's just so hard to get them out.
Yeah, especially when you're only dealing with Zerglings, so we'll have to see if he just goes for an Overlord here or not. I think that would be a little bit of a misuse of his resources here. Might just be able to focus down the Queen here.
He's going to try, but that means that the Cyclones are in a more vulnerable position.
He got 1 drone for that. Not quite what you wanted, but
I mean, at least he's consistent,
so
right?
He can go back in.
Anytime you play MMA, you're always going to see a drop of some kind in your base, or at least trying to.
He might be able to get an Overlord here if he just goes for it now. I think that's better than nothing. 3 roaches on the way.
He's not going to go for it. He's going to be forced to pick up again by those Lings coming forward. So not a very effective drop here by MMA. I don't think Solar feels any pressure at all.
It's building a lot of Lings. I wonder if Solar goes for a counterattack, realizing how open MMA was the last
yeah,
game.
especially with two more Overlords on the way. He's got Lings and Roaches just being flooded out right now. I wonder if MMA realizes he might be in a lot of trouble.
Drones too, though. He scouts that there's no third right now with the Overlord, and I'm wondering if that will signal full drones now. He might just be building enough to not die to anything as well. Yeah, see, now he's producing drones again. Quite interesting pattern of unit production and drone production, but this is the best way to not die, I guess.
No Spore Crawler in the main, so this Liberator might actually get some damage done.
There's actually not much here. This is a bunch of Lings, a bunch of Roaches. Roaches and Hell are not very good against
they're coming around the back for a flank right now, and on the other side, he killed the Queen, so denying mine is pretty good.
Okay, here comes the Hellions. Yeah, now you have to get out of there. Pretty okay trade, though, for MMA, to be honest.
Quick hot pick up there, and a save on the Liberator as well, as the drones are...
If you look at the worker count, too, the only thing is if there's no third CC at all for MMA, which I didn't see... No, he does have it. Yeah, so he's actually in an okay spot right now. Sorry, I forgot that MMA built the CC earlier.
What do you have to worry about at this point?
He needs to creep, if that's an Overlord. Creep, 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 creep. It's so important. Get it. Oh, there's nothing here. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, there we go.
That's
right
really,
on time.
Really nice. I can't exaggerate how much this matters.
Yeah. No, that is actually going to delay it quite a while. Even after that Overlord dies, the creep survives.
Brought back his Cyclones to deal with it.
Well, this has got to feel great for Solar. He not only pushes that back, but he also is able to deny the third base for coming up for so long.
Yeah, that was a couple seconds off of not doing anything, honestly. Like, if he had just pressed the creep spread up hotkey like 2 seconds later, that would have gotten off. The drop CC, that is.
Wow, he's still not landing it.
Yeah,
Oh no, if he doesn't land this, then the SCVs turn around.
Yeah, he should land it.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Is this 4 Hellions?
Yeah, the third coming up and the Hellions coming in.
I wonder if that's a Spore Crawl on the edge of the creep. That could be kind of annoying. Is it? Looks like. Okay,
no,
it's an Overlord. Yeah, so there's nothing here really to deal with this immediately.
He'll get his shot, or shots as the case may be.
It's taking a long time. He could have gotten a lot more shots off here. 1 shot.
2. Oh, nice split on the drones there by Solar to avoid taking massive losses.
Focusing down the medevac there was really good. Oh, these Hellions could have been doing something too.
What are they doing there?
MMA is just so close for being so good, you know?
You know, it is the little things, right? You can tell that his fundamentals are still solid. Those stay with you, but being able to adapt and come back to, like we said, the little things takes a while.
Yeah. If you give him like a couple more months, these Hellion run-bys are just insane. Like the Hellion drops are just managed perfectly. It just
GSL Season 4.
He just needs a little bit more time, I think.
I mean, there are still other tournaments. If you can qualify for like Super Tournament, maybe people will vote him in. No, that's not as likely, but killing another queen, his Liberator's been really good at doing that.
You have to send another queen for your national or something like that. There's so much more time here for the... Oh, Mutas. I did not even see the Spire Tech. Sorry, I was not paying attention enough, clearly.
I mean, again, the surprise Mutas are what catch MMA off guard, right?
Yeah,
this is something that's consistently taking a ton of damage from.
MMA doing a much better job this game, having the Thor drop ready to deal with this. Although he doesn't have any turrets anywhere. I don't know where the medevacs are. Okay, here's one.
He is bringing the Thors in. Only 1 shot gets off to take out 1 Muta.
Really, though? 7 workers? Not bad. Especially when... I mean, even as casters, we didn't see it coming, so...
Well, as surprising as it was even to MMA, that is not a lot of damage to take.
No, 7 workers is perfectly fine. 64 to 77, that's not a bad position to be in ZVT, especially when you're playing mech. He needs to get an engineering way up, though. 3 turrets on the way, so he needs turrets for the long run of this game. Nice thing is that this Muta transition can't catch MMA off guard later on now.
Oh yeah, that is true. He's always going to be aware of those. Hellion run by, trying to catch a few more drones. 1 more shot would have done a little bit more, but not in the cards.
Yeah, 170 supply to 145. Pretty decent army supply difference here. We see 3 Vipers on the way, so we'll have to see if these Vipers are able to do anything realistically.
Yeah, and if they survive longer than like 10 seconds.
Yeah, Viking production's already on the way, so... And also their Mutas are still alive. So Vikings in general will be really important here. It's a lot of Hellions. He's a really Hellion-heavy mech player.
Waiting to see what the Hellions do because they have just been running in and dying, trying to get a couple of drones. Still going for it, and I think these are obviously
part of it
scouted.
goes to how good Solar's Overlord spread is. If you look at the map, you can see how many Overlords he has well spread to deal with Hellion run-bys.
I'm getting flashbacks of Broodwar Muta Micro where every SCV would have died, but it's nice to see he's still being active. But the problem is that the main push is just going to be so scary. Vipers will be ready, but if they die to the Vikings like they did in game number 1, then it's just not going to look pretty. Counterattack, or
a lot of the Hellions going down. He needs to
not morph.
Yeah, he needs to not stagger the Hellions so far forward.
He is finally transforming them. There we go. Into Hellbat. There's the anti-armor. Oh my god, everything's orange! It's so big. The hits there on the anti-armor is just going to make MMA's army so much more effective. The siege tank shots, one-shot everything.
Abducting Cyclones is a bit of a mistake, I think. I think you need to save your energy. Even better than killing like 2 or 3 Cyclones is Blinding Cloud or abducting the tanks. Losing your 4th base anyways, you might as well save the energy, but yeah. Oh, he's going Broodlords. This is actually like the only timing I really see MMA having before Broodlords come out. Then you have to play the super late game mech, which is where you get your ghosts and stuff.
Getting all but cleared out. I think there's 1 low HP, 1 left.
Nice scan, catches the very back of this army.
Nice, ducks on the Thors, taking them out immediately. Solar's defense is super solid, but this is just such a scary push by MMA.
6 Corruptors on the way. If he can hit before Broodlords, that's another really solid timing that he has. +3 won't be done, so no real upgrade timing here, but potentially a timing before Broodlords would be really nice.
Rocks destroyed MMA, pushing it
so
through.
Many Cyclones.
That is but beautiful Blinding Clouds really stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah, losing that Raven is so important too. The anti-armor missile does so much when it's paired with Cyclones.
We saw how good it was in the last fight, but it's not going to be here this time. Neither will the Vipers, though. They are used up.
There's still no Broodlords on the way at all? I'm surprised the Broodlords aren't
I think it feels maybe too much pressure. There are the Broodlords, 5 of them. Those things take...
The funny thing is, Cyclones are actually not terrible against Broodlords if you can get enough of them. You can almost one-shot Broodlords, especially with Viking help. The question is, I don't think he's going to get close enough in time.
That is the question. I don't know whether or not they will be able to come into the fight at all, because MMA is pushing in right now. It's pushing Solar all the way back past his base.
He needs to send some units towards the 4th base to do some economic damage. Either way, that would be so vital.
Here they come, the first 5 Broodlords of hopefully many will get to play in this fight. There's a lot of Cyclones and Helibats on the ground, so they will be good at dealing with the Broodlings coming out, but is it going to be enough? He's going down.
Really nice control, by the way.
Trying to focus on those Broodlords. Will they be able to get taken out or do too much damage? Takes in the back, aren't actually having Broodlings on top of them. Can MMA focus the Broodlords down?
I don't think he can. He's getting 1 Broodlord here at the end. 3 Broodlords versus 4 tanks. Okay, getting out would be really nice. If he can get out, I think this is an okay trade. 140 to 180 supply, not a great spot to be in. But again, mech, when you have bases like this, it's okay to have an advantage or disadvantage rather in army supply. 81 army to 106. 20 army, not a huge deal when you have mech, because you can't fight into mech in an open position like aggressively. So a lot of time is going to be spent here.
Now, MMA... You're right. It did have the opportunity to pull back there, and he took it. And he's got a 4th base coming up behind this, so the idea is, hey, I did a little bit of damage, I'll come back and it won't be so bad. But Solar, maxed out, well, 10 supply away from being maxed out. Anywhere he goes, anything in its path is going to die. So if he targets down that 4th base, could go tragically for MMA.
He's maxed out, but he has 60 workers, 69 workers. That's not enough to have like a max out where like, okay, well I can just replenish this with something.
Okay.
To be honest, this is a max out where it has to win the game. Realistically, he is building a bunch of static defense here, so maybe he will build more drones, but he needs more than 60 to really replenish this army, especially Broodlord army. This is very expensive.
Very expensive, but he did get the Broodlords out in time to defend, so he's going to have more time because of that to morph as much as he needs. But yeah, what's up with his composition right now? It's almost purely Hydra, Broodlord.
It's not a very standard composition. This is kind of like the poor man's late game, really. Like, it's not the static and Infestor, Viper, and like Ravager army. It's just like I don't know, it's like a mix of both.
Well, I'm glad you called it poor man's, because if you look at his bank, it's not really there for a Zerg on 6 bases. He's been spending a lot of his resources on just building up this massive Broodlord Queen army. The Roaches running through, take down a couple of SCVs, but get taken out almost as quickly.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of SCVs is perfectly fine. You're like, okay. I mean, look at the SCV count, really. With Thor or with Meals, this is a favored economy position for MMA. He is maxed now.
Yeah, and for MMA, maybe that's even a lot of SCVs to have right now. Now that you can get extra orbitals and mine mostly with mules.
MMA is building Thor, so I wonder if he's not planning to go Ghosts, because I feel like that's a bit of a different style. Usually we see Ghosts play. There's a lot of Thors, actually. A lot of Thors from Vikings.
I mean, eventually Solar will see that he's not going to be going that. Maybe hit it with an ultra timing. Tech switches have been real good.
Yeah, I feel like Solar's already picked up on this. That's why we don't see huge Baneling kind of army composition, right? Like, usually you'd start switching into Banelings if you're going to deal with Ghosts. The Banelings and Infestors are also extremely important, which we don't see either of. So he has a kind of a specialized army for this.
Targeting down the Spine Crawlers, pushing forward, but Solar getting into position. Has a nice concave, but he needs MMA to push maybe a little bit further forward. And there are the parasitic bombs. Beautiful splits, but actually that's quite a few Vikings to get taken out there. 3 or 4 get taken out. There's even more left. The Corruptors dealing with the Vikings, and look at these Broodlords just going to town.
Yeah, there's really nothing to contest the Broodlords here. A lot of Hydras, you can just sit back behind the Broodlords now. The Thors are not really doing enough damage to do anything here.
MMA
only
back
one
up
Viking
against
left.
the wall. There is only one left, and now no more. The last Thor dies, and so will everything else on the ground for MMA.
Yeah, and this is why we don't see this army style.
That's going to do it. GG. MMA is out of the GSL code S, and Solar stays alive to advance on to our final match.
Yeah, we've seen this style kind of phase out of standard play a lot because Ghosts are just so much better at dealing with the late game army that Zerg has. So not too surprising to see that fight. And we saw Solar pick up in the army composition really early, so Played it really solidly.
For MMA, it is a sad farewell, but I expect to see him back here next time, maybe later on in other tournaments. This guy is going places, so it's exciting to see the start of a new life for MMA here. But for Solar, he does continue and still has life and a chance to advance. We'll find out if he can when we come back with our final match.